In last week's video, we discussed abilities and briefly mentioned how your choice of race can influence several of your ability scores. This week, we're going to take a look at races more in depth and go over the differences in each. Let's get started. In 3.5 Dungeons & Dragons, there are several common races. They include humans, dwarves, elves, gnomes, half-elves, half-orcs, and halflings. After you get your ability scores rolled up, you should choose your race before you write down your scores on your character sheet. You'll want to also consider what class you'll choose, because certain races do better pursuing certain careers. Page 12 in the Player's Handbook has a table that will show you every race's ability adjustments and their favorite class. Every race speaks the common tongue, but some races automatically come with a racial language. For each point of intelligence bonus, you'll get to learn an extra language. Now let's go through each race and discuss the features they have so you can make the best choice for you. Humans are the most adaptable, flexible, and ambitious race. They stand between 5 and 6 feet tall and weigh between 125 and 250 pounds. They have short lifespans, reaching adulthood at about age 15, and rarely living even a single century. Humans run the spectrum of alignments, and they don't have a chief racial deity. Human adventurers are ambitious, and they strive to earn glory from their peers by amassing power, wealth, and fame. Now for some crunch. Humans are medium-sized creatures with a base land speed of 30 feet. They get to choose 1 extra feat at first level and get 4 extra skill points. They'll get 1 extra skill point each level after that. Any class is their favorite class because humans are versatile. Dwarves are hard workers and even harder drinkers. They carve kingdoms out of mountains. They are suspicious of strangers, but are generous to those who gain their trust. They can be a bit greedy and value gold and gems. They're courageous and have a strong sense of justice. They get along really well with gnomes. Dwarves stand between 4 and 4.5 feet tall, and are so broad and compact that they're usually heavier than humans. They reach adulthood at 40 years old and live to be more than 400. Dwarves are usually lawful and tend towards good, and their chief deity is Moradin, the Soul Forger. A dwarf adventurer loves excitement and accomplishments that bring honor to their clan and earn them respect and status. Crunch-wise, they get a +2 to Constitution for being stout and tough, and a -2 to Charisma for being gruff and reserved. They're medium-sized creatures with a base land speed of 20 feet, but don't incur a speed penalty when wearing medium or heavy armor. Dwarves have dark vision up to 60 feet. They get a +2 racial bonus to notice unusual stonework. They're able to use dwarven axes and martial weapons instead of exotic weapons. Since they're exceptionally stable on their feet, they get a +4 bonus on ability checks to resist being bull rushed or tripped when standing on ground. Since they're hardy and resistant to toxins, they get a +2 on saving throws against poison. They have an innate resistance to magic spells as well, giving them a +2 bonus on saves against spells and spell-like effects. They get a +1 when fighting their common enemies, orcs and goblinoids, and a +4 dodge bonus to armor class against monsters of the giant type. Since dwarves are familiar with valuable items, they get a +2 to appraise checks when appraising stone or metal items, and a +2 on craft checks when working with stone or metal. Fighter is the dwarves' favorite class, because their culture extols the virtues of battle, and the vocation comes easy to them. Elves favor things of natural beauty, and are well known for their poetry, dance, song, lore, and magical arts. They are also skilled with a bow and sword. They are often amused and very curious. Elves are short and slim, standing 4.5 to 5.5 feet tall, and weighing 95 to 135 pounds. They are graceful, but frail. They reach adulthood at about 110 years old, and can live to be more than 700. Elves don't have to sleep for 8 hours like other races. Instead, they go into a 4-hour trance to gain the same benefit that sleep provides. Elves love freedom, variety, and self-expression, so they tend to be chaotic good. Above all others, they worship Corellon Labyrinthine, the protector and preserver of life. Elves take up adventuring out of wanderlust, and enjoy demonstrating their skill with bow, sword, or magic. Since they're graceful, they get a +2 to their dexterity, but get a -2 to their constitution for being frail. Elves are medium-sized creatures with a base land speed of 30 feet. They're immune to sleep effects and get a +2 bonus to saving throws against enchantment spells or effects. They can see twice as far as a human can because of their low light vision. They're proficient with the longsword, rapier, longbow, and shortbow. They get a +2 on listen, search, and spot checks since they have keen senses. The elves' favorite class is Wizard, since magic comes to them so naturally. That's going to wrap it up for part 1 of races. Join me next week in part 2 when we discuss the rest.